you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole!
This year we're going to grab the bull by the balls and kick those punks off campus.
Well, looks like the cows have come home to roost.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Entertainment.ie movie show, brought to you by Odeon Cinemas, who are showing action classic Terminator 2 on August 29th for its 25th anniversary. This week we cast an over Tom Cruise star that's surprisingly coming in under the radar, and an early Oscar contender with an Irish star. Our comp this week is a big one. It involves one of the most anticipated films of the year, and we have tickets to give away to a preview screening on September 5th. Just tell us who played Pennywise in the original TV miniseries It. I'm joined by Dee Malumbi, and in the place of Brian Lloyd, Dave O'Shaughnessy from Night Talkers.
Hello.
Night Talkers, the extremely successful social media series based around Game of Thrones that yourself and Fiona Flynn do.
Yeah.
We're just going to take Max Ramsbottom's name out of it because he left but still does the show, which is nice of him.
Yeah. I jumped into your intro there. I was like, hi, welcome to Night Talkers. I'll just dive right in.
Give me the iPad and I'll talk about myself.
Yeah.
Okay, so first off this week, Dee, we're going to talk Detroit, which is Kathryn Bigelow. It's an Oscar contender. And the Irish angle I kind of alluded to at the start there is Jack Rayner. I feel bad saying that, but I cannot hear Jack Rayner's name and just not say it like that. Is like,
yeah, what it kind of sticks in everyone's head.
Am I a bad person?
We all think it.
This is lovely, isn't it? The abuse has started right away. It turned into tables. It's not me giving Brian stick like.
Ah, well, look.
Yeah. Okay, so I haven't seen this. Both you guys have. This looks like hard going.
It's heavy. Yeah. I mean, we both came out at the same screening and we kind of turned to each other and we were like, we're not ready to talk about it yet.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that you kind of have to take home and be like, okay, how do I feel about that? Because it's not good.
Yeah. It's a good film, though.
Oh, it's excellent.
Yeah, you just have to feel good about yourself afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, so the plot, it's Detroit, obviously.
Yeah, 1967.
Based on a true story.
Yeah, based on a true story. So it surrounds like all the riots that were going on in a number of black communities in America that year, but it focuses in on this one incident where a number of people were held in the Algiers Hotel. So I don't want to give too much of it away because it's actually good to go in as blind as possible. Yeah, there are a lot of players in it. Basically, John Boyega plays this security guard who ends up in there under like weird circumstances. Will Poulter and Jack Rayner both play two policemen. Anthony Mackie is one of the guys who are trapped in there. Also, Hannah Murray, people recognize from Game of Thrones, she's in there as well. So
Link. Every Monday at 10 o'clock ish.
Yes.
Well, next week and that's it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great cast and it's just a really well-made film. I mean, this is Kathryn Bigelow we're talking about, so she's always amazing. Really well directed, well edited, well paced. It is so intense, you know, and it's quite a movie experience. And yeah, I totally agree in that this one is definitely going to have a lot of Oscar buzz around it for sure.
Will Poulter's one of those guys, Dave, who's getting Oscar buzz. He just seems like a right bastard.
He has the most punchable face, I think, in cinema at the moment, and he does his job well in this movie. Like you hate him. Like he's so easily hateable, and without giving too much away, with just cause. I think from the trailer you'll know like that you're supposed to hate Will Poulter in this role. It's hard not to talk about the things that happen in this movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's history. We can allude to some stuff. I mean, you know, this has happened. Was it 1968? This happened.
Yeah.
So we can talk about it a little bit without, you know, giving away direct plot points. You look like really though, can I?
Yeah, it's like it's really hard though because you want to say things that are like, oh, but yeah, no, he is great. Well, it's hard to know if he's great in it because I feel like any time I've seen Will Poulter, he's just been a bastard.
See, I was going to say that. The next thing I was going to say was about Will Poulter's range because he did a comedy. He's getting for Fly.
There's a Fly.
You're giving
that
that Fly evils. I was going to say Will Poulter's great. Did Will Poulter do that comedy with Jennifer Aniston?
I got him.
Jason Sudeikis.
Look at
him. You go, Dave. Don't mind those. He doesn't do this to kind of carry on in his own show. He's eyeing the prize. He's eyeing the prize in his own show. Back to the point. Will Poulter has range. He did a comedy with Jason Sudeikis, Jennifer Aniston, and he was very funny in it, and he did an American accent as well. So I would disagree with Dave.
And he did Glassland with Jack Rayner, and he wasn't evil in that. He was like kind of the like cheesy best buddy in it.
Yeah.
So he has been able to do lighter roles, but I think it's his eyebrows make him kind of evil.
It is.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. It is his eyebrows. He actually plays the role though. Like he isn't straight up evil in it, which is a weird. I don't know if it's the writing or if it's
he's layered, like he's got a bit of
it's like they never come out and be like, well, they do, like other characters call him a racist to his face, but he's never like, he doesn't walk around being like, I hate black people.
Yeah.
It's very, and so there's this weird kind of like
undercurrent of
muddied ground where you're like, is he just a bad cop? Is he just being informed by what he's being told by the media at the time?
Yeah.
Is it just the stress? Because like you'll see in it, like it's very much like Zero Dark 30 and the Hurt Locker. You're seeing like it's a war zone. Like Detroit was a war zone at the time with the riots, and you don't know if it's the environment that's doing to him. But then, like by the end of the movie, you're like, well, yeah, he is a racist.
Yeah.
Like he's a horribly racist person. But he plays it like well enough that you're like, oh, I could see how he could convince himself and maybe convince others that he's not racist. He's just responding to the environment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's clever. Like I don't know if he. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say he'd get an Oscar for this.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say because I don't know if anyone is on screen enough. Like, it really is
It's
an
an
ensemble
ensemble.
piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's really interesting about these characters is that you only see kind of so much of their backgrounds and you're kind of like filling in the gaps. But what's really great about the movie in that way is that you're constantly thinking, like you're looking at these characters and just getting like little pieces of information from the dialogue. So it's actually like really well made and it'll have you thinking about it and talking about it afterwards.
You can't ask for much more. Now, what about Kathryn Bigelow in terms of maybe an Oscar nomination? She obviously won for the Hurt Locker. Was it Zero Dark 30? Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker, she won. Yeah. I think she could be nominated.
Top 5 directors working today, I would say.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I think Wonder Woman could get a directing nomination, but that's just me.
That's true. Well,
Yeah.
I think Wonder Woman might get a Best Picture nomination anyway, because they generally go between like 8 and 10 picture nominations,
Yeah.
so it's a broader playing field.
Amazing to have
That's
two
true,
women up
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But it's a similar vein. Like you very much. Well, I felt like I'm very much watching a Kathryn Bigelow movie when the way the jump cuts, the handy camera,
The intensity.
the lingering shots. Like you just are on edge, pretty much from like 20 minutes until it ends.
Okay, sum it up for me. Would you go and see it? Maybe give us a star rating now, 5. Would you go and see it?
Oh, star rating I think is a 4, but it's very hard to recommend to people because like I like to go to the cinema and have a good time, and we watched this the Monday after Charlottesville.
Oh,
So
God.
it was just like I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I need what I'm seeing in the news to go to the cinema to see the same thing, but I suppose that's just privilege. We need to like check yourselves with that.
Yeah.
So I would be like, go see it because it's a good movie. Don't expect to come out of it feeling good about yourself.
It's an important watch, though. Obviously, Dee. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with everything you said. I would probably give it 4.5 stars, just in terms of, I mean, my only maybe small criticism for it, aside from what Dave said there, was I would have liked to see maybe some of the characters' backstories a little more drawn out, and then just in terms of the timeline, it could be a little confusing.
Yeah, and it's obviously difficult when you've got so many players and
That's
you've got so many people you want to include, and she probably wanted to keep it as lean as possible when you've got that many characters and this shit actually happened.
Yeah.
I'd say that's quite tricky. So I am going to go and see it. This one's been flying completely under the radar, for want of a better phrase, given what it's about. It's about drug smuggling. This is Tom Cruise playing a character called Barry Seal, who pops up in the 2nd season of Narcos. And I went to the premiere with a friend of mine the other night, and I was like, have you seen the 2nd season of Narcos? And he was like, no. And I was like, all right, so you've no idea what's going to happen here. Anybody who has seen the 2nd season of Narcos knows. I had an idea, I suppose, what goes on. To point out as well, you have an interview with Doug Lyman, so who was an incredible director, and we're going to get into that in more detail now, but in the audio version of this, so if you download a podcast, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, you can listen to these interview with Doug Lyman, and we highly recommend you do so.
Yes.
I enjoyed the hell out of this. This is just really good fun.
It is so much fun and it's so entertaining, and it's really interesting. We've talked before about counter programming. Like, if you want to go see kind of a serious Oscar contender, go check out Detroit. American made, check it out if you're just like looking to have like a bit of crack, like it's so like unashamedly like just having fun. Like, it's interesting though, because it seems to have divided critics. Some people are absolutely loving it, and then some people are like, oh, but historical inaccuracies. But you're like, who cares? Really, and some people are like, I don't get Tom Cruise's motivation in this movie. It's like he's doing it for the lols. Like, he's doing it because he can work for the CIA and be a drugs runner and make loads and loads of money. Of course that's his motivation.
And Donald Gleeson is in it too, playing a right slimy bastard. He's brilliant.
great.
Is he?
He is
Okay.
fantastic. He's just this slimy, kind of smirky CIA guy, and he's deadly in it.
Yeah, he's brilliant too.
Tom Cruise is great. Tom Cruise is really good in that. And from talking to the DEA guys from Narcos, from the show The Real Guys, last year, they kind of like mentioned Barry Seal to me a couple of times, and they were like, "You're crazy." Like, he was absolutely cracked. He was just, you know,
Yeah.
the amount of stuff that he was doing, and I don't want to give anything away for people that don't know the story or that people are going to go and see the film. But they kind of said some not so positive things about the CIA guys that were knocking around that time as well.
Yeah.
But you do see that in the film. You see the DEA pop up, the FBI, and, you know, the CIA and all these agencies kind of working around together. What did you think of Tom Cruise in this? Were you a fan of Tom Cruise?
I really, really liked him in it. I have to say, like, seeing Tom Cruise in this movie reminded me of like old Tom Cruise, old, not cynical, just like having this infectious sense of fun on the screen. Movies like Risky Business and Top Gun, obviously come to mind. Just that sense of like fun and youth and playfulness about
and this
him,
is obviously we mentioned this is Doug Liman. His last film with Doug Liman was Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow was a blast. Tom Cruise,
so much fun.
Tom Cruise needs to work with Doug Liman more here.
Yeah.
I think that's what we can kind of take from this.
I haven't seen it. Is it would you bill it as a comedy? Like, is it actually?
There's elements of comedy.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of.
it's not slapstick. Though.
Yeah.
Like.
It's not. It's a smart comedy, you know.
Okay.
Like, there are just like little kind of nods and winks in there. Like, for example, there's one shot where like Tom Cruise is reading a biography about the gangster Al Capone in it. Like, there are just those little like nods and really smart moments that like it's also a film that I feel like I could go back and watch and enjoy more and more, because I'll see more of those just little references.
It's just
in
got
it, you know?
it's got real panache. Like Doug Liman, I think he is such an underrated director for the type of movies that he's made and the kind of, you know, different kinds of movies that he's made. He's got incredible range as a director, from going from sci-fi to Edge of Tomorrow and something like this with Tom Cruise. And I think this was in the can about a year and a half ago, and they've kind of held off putting it out.
I remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, "What? Why is Tom Cruise doing a Narcos thing? Like, what's going on?" But like, that's all I knew about it.
And I mean, Pablo Escobar does pop up in it as well. You know, there are elements of it, but you're right. It skews that ground between kind of thriller and comedy. But it does it really, really well. I thought.
I mean, he's such a brilliant director. We also have to remember he directed the Bourne Identity, so he's like responsible for pretty much kicking off that franchise. He was an exec producer then on all of the subsequent movies that starred Matt Damon. He didn't do the one with Jeremy Renner.
Paul Greengrass came in then.
Yeah, exactly. So like, you know, he's just a really, really great and talented director, and I was really delighted to get to talk to him.
Listen to the interview. I recommend people do that. But you start with Swingers, went to the Bourne Identity, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is underrated, which apparently the production of was an absolute
Jumper
mess.
as well.
Jumper as well, which it wasn't bad.
Jumper wasn't bad.
Hayden Christensen trying to be a movie star. That didn't really work out particularly well. Dave, give us a plug for your show before we go. Monday, last one.
Night Talkers. The last episode of Night Talkers will be on this Monday after an 80-minute episode of Game of Thrones. So probably not till like 10:30, maybe 10:45. Who knows what Sky Atlantic are going to do with ads. But yeah, we'll be here after that to talk about whatever happens. We don't know what's going to happen because being really secret about it. If history is something to go by, it'll be lots of things. Lots of people will die, and we'll all be in shock and probably.
And then you'll have to wait around for a year and a half for the show to come out again.
Even 2019 they're talking about. It might be that long. I know, but yeah, we'll be here on Monday night talking about everything that happens. And
when are you going to have one of us on to give this show a plug? Because your show's very popular now. I mean, you've got one left.
I've only got one left,
so can myself or
fully
Dee
booked.
pop
I'm sorry,
up?
the couch is full.
What kind of bullshit is that? So Mondays, or this Monday coming up, that's it then.
That's it. Yeah, until next year or whenever.
10ish. David Shockey, thanks so much for joining us. Steve Malumbi, thanks as ever. We'll chat to you next week, 9 o'clock, folks. Thursday. See you then.